Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm your host, Francis Mayer, Sports Information Director for the greatest junior college athletic department in the known universe. That's BC Athletics. And you want to know how I know? Because Coach Pamela Kelly told me so. Coach Kelly is one of the longest tenured coaches in the BC Athletics department, and she oversees the track and field program and the cross-country program. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You and I work just down the hall from each other, and I have to say it's a pleasure. Coach Kelly has a lot of stories from the history of the program, and she also bakes really good stuff around the holidays, and I'll thank you again for that.
Thank you.
It was a coincidence. She baked Amish friendship bread, which is like one of my favorite things, and not everybody knows that stuff. So anyway, she does, and she does it well. Coach Kelly, you've been running the track program for a long time, like I said, but we've got a special event coming up this weekend, don't we?
Yes, on Friday we'll have Battle of the Regions starting at 11 o'clock. We have 10 schools. It's one of probably the premier early season meets. People are asking to get into it, and we're turning some people away because we want to keep it small enough to get our northern schools home in a timely manner because of their bus transportation.
And there's a lot of events that happen at a track meet.
Correct. Some people refer to it as a three-ring circus because everything's going on at one time.
But it is.
But it's organized. It's just if for the layperson that sees it, they really don't understand the concept of all what's going on. A jumping event, a throwing event, a running event. It's like a three-ring circus.
It absolutely is, but if you are a fan of pure athletics, I mean, I don't know that there's anything purer than the track and field sports. I mean, we're measuring how fast people run, and some of these things represent, like, the outer limits of physical achievement, right? Like the time in the mile or the 100 meters. That's how we measure fastest people on Earth.
That's correct. We usually refer to it as speed is the essence of all sports, and there's very few slow players at the upper echelons of sport, and one of the easiest sports to measure it in that definitively is track, because you have the clock. There's no saying, oh, he looks better than so-and-so, or she looks better than so-and-so. There's a mark, there's a time, there's a distance.
And that's it.
That's it.
Your body type doesn't matter, your explosiveness. At the end of the day, it's what does the clock say?
That's correct.
And that's all she wrote. And then we've seen successful track and field athletes go on to pursue successes in other sports, like namely football. I mean, there's been a lot of guys who have started out in track and then, crossed over, played like 2 seasons of college football, and then managed to play professionally. Because if you can run a 4.3 40-yard dash, you're going to be desirable. But we also have the throwing events, and these are old, like back to the original Olympics type stuff, right?
That's correct. When they had the Olympics in Greece, they actually held a shot at the original site of the pre-Olympics.
Oh, wow.
So that was an event like 2 hours away from Athens, and the shot putters got to throw at that site. So that's kind of cool for them. No,
that's absolutely cool. And speaking of hallowed sites, Memorial Stadium, in popular thinking in Bakersfield, is a football stadium, but the truth is, it might have a more famous career as a track facility, because you look at Jim Ryan set the world record in the mile there once.
That's correct. We've held USA national meets with the USSR. We've had numerous state championships for community college, numerous state championships for high school, as well as various Southern Cal meets and conference meets.
Now, you have taken on athletes who didn't have prior competitive experience before, right?
That is correct.
And you are a coach in every sense of the word. Like you can coach people who are willing to put in the work and be dedicated, right?
That is correct. Sometimes we have to find the event. At the time, we had a young man from Garces High School, and he came to us. He was a jumper, and we moved him to the javelin, and our javelin coach at the time was able to get him, after 1 year, a scholarship to USC.
Wow.
He won the state, set the state meet record. We had a girl who came back to dance, and she was a two-time state champion in the heptathlon.
Oh, wow.
And thought she was just a basketball player. So we have some opportunities to try some people at different events, and they've been very successful, and we're proud of that, because we want to get them to the next level.
Right. Now, and people talk to and talk about being in a program, because we have coaches that oversee and run programs. You don't just teach a sport. you oversee it, and
Right.
you oversee your athletes and their progress. And you talk about seeing folks go on, and this person getting a scholarship to USC. That's a big part of your deal. Is
That's a
moving
big
kids
part.
on.
We're academic oriented. If somebody has something academically that has to be taken care of, we work around that because BC, in my opinion, is academic oriented first. They're student athletes, not athlete students.
Well, and you're absolutely correct. And you can't be an athlete if you're not a student first. So it's not like you're right. It's in every sense not the other way around. Coach, have you seen students succeed that maybe thought they couldn't? You know,
Academically?
yeah.
Oh, yes. There's been a lot. I mean, I will say I've learned from my students as much as I hope I give to them. I have had certain students that come in with some needs that I did not know about, and by helping them, I've learned it so we can help other people. Our goal is always to get them to the next level. There is no professional sports basically for track.
No, there isn't.
Or cross country unless you're at the top elite level.
A 1/10%.
Right. So we have to focus on the academics and the education. Use your sport to help your education, not in reverse.
Right. And if we open the doors and say, well, if you want to come out for track or cross country, like for you, the attitude is number one.
Correct.
Like having the right approach and being willing to go to class and being willing to buy into the program.
Correct.
And when we talk about that, it's like buying into the whole thing, the practice, the workouts, the diet, all of it, right?
Correct. But even more the program, the academic side of it.
Yeah, of course, right. But like I hear you talk, and actually now that I think about it, gosh, here we have this track meet coming up this weekend. And again, what are the dates and times of the event this weekend?
The track meet Battle of the Regions will start on Friday at 11 a.m.
Okay.
And then on Saturday, we're actually hosting an all-comers meet in conjunction with North High School.
Oh, nice.
And that'll be starting at 10 a.m., and that will be featuring some local athletes. But it will also feature Darian Moore, who was an NAIA champion in the shot and hammer, and Jonathan Moore, who was second last year at the community college meet in the high jump.
Oh, wow.
They're going to compete. So
well, we've got some pretty pick of the litter type things going on this weekend.
yes, we're excited. This is our first all-comers meet since I've been at Bakersfield College, so over 30 years. So I'm really excited to bring this back, and it was nice of North High to want to host it, so in conjunction with them, we've been able to work this out.
Yeah, and by the way, hats off to North High. They're doing some pretty cool stuff over there. We had Jared Dorton, the tackle from North High. He just accepted a scholarship to Eastern Carolina, and they have a Hall of Fame movement that's really doing neat stuff, and they're pulling in athletes that people don't normally think of as athletes, like Kevin Harvick, the race car driver, and giving recognition across the board, which I think is pretty neat. And now they're, of course, partnering up with us to put on this meet. But my point was going to be that despite all that stuff that we have going on this Friday and Saturday at the college with the all-comers meet and the Battle of the Regions, I've heard you talk about classes and grades a lot more. So that's the proof's in the pudding right there.
That's again our main thing.
Right.
That is our main thing, and we try to keep open on it. If they need help, we try to get them help. We look within our own team first. If somebody's good in math, maybe they can help them with math. If somebody's good in English, maybe they can help them with English, because their times will match up more with a teammate than somebody from outside the athletic world.
And that's always, I think that's correct in many walks of life. Well, Coach Kelly, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today. She's a professor before she's a coach, and she expects her athletes to be students first, and that's what we all expect, really. So let's keep the grades up, along with the scores and the speeds and the times. For the entire Renegade Report team, including Athletic Director Sandy Taylor, Cheer Coach Heather, Steve Lynch, the statistician, I'm Francis Mayer. Thanks for watching.